Representative Lyle.
Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon.
And I thank you for your work. Just a couple of questions, if I could. The first has to do with the allocation of Chromebooks. As a retired educator whose career went from Lincoln to Central Falls to Block Island, I'm concerned about the disparity that might exist in terms of Chromebook allocation. Specifically, it's my understanding that some school districts allocated Chromebooks per family as opposed to per student, and I'm troubled by that.
Yeah, and some things that did happen, and what we did with the help of the Rhode Island Foundation is that we started a challenge. Well, the Rhode Island Foundation started where they donated money, and everybody has, anyone and everyone that we could think of, CBS donated money to Woonsocket, Cox to Central Falls, where there was a need of one-to-one devices. And when I mean one-to-one, I mean if there are 3 kids in the family, that there would be 3 devices at home. So we are at 90% right now. We're not at 100. So that is still a concern of ours. And when we talked about the stimulus funding, that is one of the areas that we need to focus in on. And not only that, but even the Chromebooks that we've already had, they get outdated very quickly. Some of them are very slow, the internet is very slow. So we are looking at those areas. That is something that has to be part of the plan as we move forward. We've been talking to superintendents about, we have to do that. And as a state, we have to move forward. There are districts that have struggled with that. And any time that we have gotten money, we had a lawyer who personally would not import 15 Chromebooks out of his own money. We've had different organizations come in and give us iPads. So we feel very lucky. We're at a better place than other states, much better place. But that doesn't mean we're 100%. We're committed to getting there, very much so.
Is it possible that the CARE Act will help to narrow that gap from 90 to 100%?
I hope so. That's what our goal is, that we're going to push. So that's why we're not talking about supplanting, but really supplementing, because we really need to get to that place.
And just one other related question. I'm wondering if there's any data that's been made available as to the impact of distance learning on first and second and third graders.
So we don't have that data. I think we're all struggling with this nationwide. What we will be doing is that we will have assessments at the beginning of the school year to what has happened, right? But where are we as a state, looking at that statewide, correlating it. As you know, we didn't have the RICAS this year or the SATs. So what we are going to look at is some assessments that are predictive of where the students would be on their grade. And if we see that there are large gaps or that there are needs, that's also what we in our plan is, does that mean that the schools need to have an extended school day? Does it mean that students will need additional math or science or reading, whatever the case may be? Those assessments will give us that information. And the assessments are not for accountability, not to penalize, it's just for information for us.
I'm concerned about the assessments. My 12-year-old daughter is currently doing some assessments as a student in Lincoln. I'm sure the temptation is there for many parents to help their sons or daughters out so that they're doing better. Again, how are we going to make certain that this data is appropriate and adequate?
Well, I'm glad you put that out publicly, because parents should not be doing that.
Yes.
I know that there's temptation. You know, I helped my son with a diorama last night, but I didn't do it for him.
I think parents helping is not related to COVID-19. It's been around for a while, but
That's right.
tempting.
That's right. But this assessment is just for us to know. And you know, we also have to factor in, we're working with some psychometricians that will factor in some of those cases, right? What will it really look like? What will it really give us? And we're really planning to do that more as school starts, to see what that looks like. So, will it be valid and reliable? We don't know, right? I don't have answers to that. We're working with psychometricians that allow us to be able to put in that margin of what may happen. And does it correlate to how the student was doing in school, right? It's only been 3 months. is now the student a 90 student when they were in school and they were a 65 student? So those things all have to be correlated, right? I think we're looking at the type of work. I wish I had a better answer, but this is all we have to go on.
Thank you.